Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I want to give my commentary on Carlos King's Messy Monday show, Monday, November the 11th. He definitely had a lot to say before he brought on his panelist, Destiny Payton from LAMH and Latrice from Belle Collective. I'm going to get into what Latrice said as well about the fans and when they do not like a cast member. Because what I found, what she said, I found to be very interesting. I was not expecting that. So before we get into these topics, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Certainly everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion, and the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed. So if you were watching Carlos King's Messy Monday show, you're definitely aware of the tone in which he took in the beginning of the video before he brought up the panelists. You know, for the first few minutes, like a lot of content creators, I know he doesn't like being called a content creator or a blogger, I should say, but you know, like a lot of bloggers, he does welcome people by their specific names and says hello to a lot of individuals. It sounds like he's single now, and he says that he's outside. It sounds like he's ready to start dating. So he's talking about that whole journey. And then he talks about Stormi leaving the show, leaving Love and Marriage Huntsville. And he said she announced it on her Instagram on Saturday. So now I would like to say something about it. And he talks about how we all know him from a really big show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And certainly the fans had moments and seasons where they did not like certain people. But he says that what he is seeing in regards to Love and Marriage Huntsville is something that he has never seen before. And then he's also going to compare the dislike for certain people to a scripted show, Power, talking about fans not liking Tariq, a fictional character, to the reality TV star. So I really want to comprehensively talk about what he says. So I'm going to go ahead and play this soundbite, and then I'll come back with my commentary.
Decided to give themselves freely to an audience that they don't know. What they also signed up for is to be heralded and hated, to be praised and pushed aside, right? They understand that. I get negative comments on my page, and I'm not on the show. Give y'all my real life, right? But I understand I'm the face of the production. And that as your fingers are tired leaving mean comments under my cast pages, you then decide to go to the creator of the show and say, well, let's also attack him. So I deal with that. And I'm not giving y'all none of my real life, okay? Because you don't get high off your own supply. Okay? That's I ain't giving y'all none of that. That's the reason why I'm protective of my cast. Tiffany Whitlow left the show because of some mean viewers. She said it out of her own mouth. She said after appearing on the show her first season, her first reunion, she said, I felt like jumping off the bridge. Seeing how many people hated me. She said that out of her own mouth. Okay? She was able to continue with the show for a couple of seasons and then finally said, I've had enough. And y'all know I go up for Tiffany Whitlow. I love Tiffany. I love everything about that woman. It was sad to see her go. I understood it, and we all made the decision that yes, if you can't bear what's been happening to you outside of the show, right? Then we respect your wishes. That has happened to Stormi Steele. Okay? Losing Stormi Steele from Love and Marriage Huntsville is a great loss to the show. Because because Stormi brought something different that the show needed at the time she was presented. Stormi being on the show took nothing away from the original six, and it took nothing away from Destiny. It took nothing away from the Fletchers. Stormi was just this vibrant CEO entrepreneur from Mississippi who moved to Huntsville and created an empire for herself, right? And that's what the show was about. Black excellence. And Stormi fit the bill. She started off as a friend up to the show to test the waters. And once Destiny and her got into it, honey, she was like, okay, child, let me be on this whole time. Because I like it, right? But she also liked the fact that she was able to promote her business too. And my entire cast, they do a wonderful job promoting their businesses. Stormi is a self-made multi-millionaire, okay, who has built an empire for herself, being a young Black girl from Mississippi. She's an inspiration to a lot of people, just like the original six is an inspiration to a lot of people, just like Destiny is an inspiration to a lot of people, just like the Fletchers, okay? You find somebody on this show that you inspire and aspire to be. And Stormi brought that to the show. To see her leave is a great loss because she fit the bill and she fit the mandate. She did not leave the show because of me, the network, the production, and she made that clear in the post that she made on Saturday. She left the show because she had to choose her business over the bullshit that some of you guys did to her. Y'all did it to Tiffany and she left, and y'all did it again to Stormi. And this has to stop. I don't stand for it. I have never stood for it. I have always addressed it. I don't like it. It's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to say, I don't like you, Stormi. I'm team this person this week. I'm on this person's side next week. All that is good. We all signed up for that, right? When I host reunions, y'all love me doing the first one. Then y'all say, he's getting paid by the Scott. Melody is his favorite. He fired Destiny. Now he's kissing Martell's ass. And y'all say the craziest things about me. I don't give a shit. Because I know I signed up for the gig, okay? What I do give a shit about is when you guys are constantly attacking my cast. When the cast attack each other, they know what it is. That's what they decide to do. They know what it is. Okay? And in most cases, they're able to forgive each other. Who would have thought Destiny and Stormi would be good friends? Based on their interaction. There were Team Stormi, Team Destiny. And look what happened. They're now close. Okay? That's what happens in the order of life. Some of you guys are not fans. I would never disrespect my audience by calling you meme MFers fans, because you're not. You are not good people. You're not good people to sit up here and contact places and cops because of your disdain for a person who is brave enough to entertain you on a Saturday night. So because you don't like what you're seeing, you want to go the extra mile. And before y'all sit up and say, but Carlos, you never want to address what other people do, I have a reunion. I am the host of a reunion, and I created the show. I don't have to address anything on Twitter. I don't address when people come for me, whether that's my cast or anybody related to them or any of the fans. I don't have to say anything to y'all. I don't owe y'all nothing. So instead of y'all deflecting the negativity that you spew, don't come on my doorstep, sweeping my foot, worrying about what I do to my cast. Okay? Because my cast knows exactly what time it is. They have my phone number, and if my cast ever had an issue with anything about Carlos King the First, they know who to dial. Okay? Be clear on that. And that's a fact. So don't worry about what happens with my production. Worry about how you use your fingers to disrespect people, to disrupt them. And all for what? So you can say, yeah, bro, I read him. Some of you guys are grandmothers, great grandmothers. And I'm pretty sure you're going to raise your children to behave in this manner. Did you? I don't think so. Did you raise your children to call people and harass them? No. So why do you feel to do it at your big age? For what? So you can sit up and say like, yeah, girl, I got them together. But one thing I know for sure, you can fool people, you can fool the world, but you can't fool God. And karma is the one that's going to be knocking on your doorstep, haunting you. I don't have to respond to anybody, okay? God fights my battles because he could do a better job for it than I could ever. And that's what you guys should be allowing it to happen. If you feel some kind of way about somebody, let God handle them if that's how you feel, okay? But some of you guys have this godlike superior attitude and you think that you're doing something. And all you're doing, and I'm going to leave it here, all that you're doing is welcoming that hatred back to you tenfold. So when you're sitting at home and you're concerned about the state of the life that you have, look back on the things you did to other people. Leave my cast alone. They are the most bravest human beings I know. And I mean that. They have experienced pain in their marriages and pain in their friendships. And the last thing they deserve is to experience pain from people who are watching the show as they're doing this for your entertainment.
Okay, so you heard him there. He definitely mentioned a lot. So I wanted to get into it all. Now, he definitely propped Stormi out in the beginning of his video, being a business owner, coming from a small town in Mississippi, starting her own business and being successful. And he talked about her contributing a lot to the show, just like everyone on the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville has contributed a lot. And he said that Stormi's successes does not take away from the success of other people. So I was inclined to think that perhaps he assumes that some of the viewers of the show think that if Stormi is on Love and Marriage Huntsville and her successes are acknowledged, that it would, dim the light of anyone else. And I'm just a personal believer of, no one can really dim your light, right? That would be on you if you chose to pull back, or if you gave in to negative thoughts or other people's negative reactions and it causes you to kind of withdraw or go into a shell. The only way your light can dim is if it's on you somehow. So I don't really feel like that would be an issue for anyone if Stormi remained on the show, but he definitely made it a point to bring that up. And then, like I said earlier, he talked about the Real Housewives of Atlanta and the character Tariq on Power and people not liking him. Then he segued into a Love and Marriage Huntsville specifically. Now, he said that he was very protective of his cast and that they all have his phone number. And if they have any concerns or questions, they know how to get a hold of him. And, I instantly thought like, you're going way up and really speaking very firmly and seriously and passionately over the situation with Stormi and the blogger and Miss Black Titanic. And I just could not help but think about, where was this passion when it came to the revenge P? And where was the protection for Mel? That's really behind the passion that the millimeters have, is when they see an excess of bullying, but a lack of protection. And, that definitely came to my mind. Now, he said something very serious and disturbing when it came to Tiffany Whitlow, saying that, she sounded like she had, thoughts of suicide. And you know what I'm meaning when I say suicide. And he was very descriptive. He said jumping off of a bridge. I don't remember ever hearing that. Do you? Because I feel like something as serious as that, I would have definitely remembered, because I don't want anyone harming themselves in any situation, whether they are on television or in the workplace or unemployed or retired, whatever it is. So I feel like I would have definitely remembered that if I had heard that. And I'm not saying that she had to come public and say it out loud, but that was just a shock to me. And it's not like he even prefaced that part of his soliloquy with, and I know you all don't know this, but this is something that I know. Now, I remember, her last reunion, she was talking about the fans being critical of her. I just don't remember her saying that. I definitely do not remember her saying that she was suicidal. So that is just a huge shock to me. I'm not saying that he's lying, and I'm not saying that Tiffany had to say it publicly, but for something to be so serious and so disturbing, I'm just shocked that if she did ever say that and it aired, I just don't remember those specific words. But I would not want anyone harming themselves. And, he talked about, specific actions, calling different places and calling the cops. Now, as far as I know, when it comes to the police being called, specifically police, I only know of Miss Black Titanic after the encounter in the parking lot. I say that to say she had to have presented the footage, and the police had to watch the footage for them to be moved to the point of bringing about the charges. And it's, as far as I know, again, in terms of involving the police, has only been in that instance where the two of them had their interaction in the parking lot. So, like Melody said in her confessional from this most recent episode, in order for you to get charges and an arrest, something had to have been done, something had to have taken place. And the footage, it was available. Both Stormi was streaming live and Miss Black Titanic was recording. So that was the footage that they would have watched, the officers, to bring about the charges. I just wanted to point that out. But he definitely asked for anyone who, may allegedly call places or go places. He's asking for it to stop. And he does not condone it. And he brought up karma. Now, if you all have watched some of my recent videos, my past videos, you know that I cannot stand it when people use this concept of karma like a weapon, almost trying to put fear in people, and he says karma is going to haunt you. So typically when people use karma for revenge, they connect it with God, like God and karma go hand in hand, and there's like this revenge thing. But Carlos has made karma a ghost, honey, and karma the ghost is going to haunt people. And I'm being sarcastic, right, in my commentary, but I was just like, wow, now the karma is going to haunt you. Now I feel like, Carlos, there are people who have done way more and they are living their best lives. There are bullies out there, sexual harassers, alleged artists who are wealthy, well-traveled, own all sorts of assets and doing their thing. I don't even need to name names. We all know some of them. So I feel like to say, because someone showed up at the parking lot of the reality TV star, there was an interaction, she took it to the cops, it was documented, it was recorded. In my opinion, there are people who have done way more. And if karma is a ghost, I don't think it's haunting them. If it does, they're not even afraid of karma the ghost. So I wanted to give my commentary on that. What did you think about what Carlos had to say? Now, he brought up the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He brought up Power. He said that he's never seen anything like the fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but he did acknowledge the fact that this is not anything unique or new to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Even the cast, Stormi and Destiny, they were comparing Melody to Beyonce, in my opinion. They brought up the Beehive. And speaking of Power, I can remember, Carlos, back in the day, the character Angela. The actress who played Angela, she said in an interview that she was getting DEATH threats because people were so connected to the characters and their dislike for her because she was so willing to take down Ghost because she was super duper career focused and she was more than ambitious. So people were threatening her, the actress. I'm not saying that that's okay because it's not, but he brought up Power, which made me think of that. There are just some people out there, they just go overboard. So I'm not saying that it's right though, Carlos, or to anyone out there, but this is not a unique situation. When there were rumors about Jay-Z allegedly messing with this shoe designer, the shoe designer's name, okay, I don't even want to say her name. You probably know who it is. So her name is similar to the chef Rachel Ray. The Goofy Beehive members, okay, they thought that Rachel Ray, the chef, was the shoe designer, and allegedly they were in her DMs trying to drive her crazy. It's just some fans, they don't know boundaries, unfortunately. They lack self-control, unfortunately, and they do really, really mean things. So I don't know what else to say about it at this point. And I want to go ahead and move on because there is another soundbite that is extremely interesting. So after he did his talk, he brought on his panelist, Latrice from Belle Collective and Destiny from Love and Marriage Huntsville. So when he brings them on, he actually opens up with the discussion regarding fans going up for their favorite to the point where they might go off on the ones that they do not like. And so he asked Latrice this question because already on Belle Collective, Letitia and Marie, they're trying to say now that Latrice's fans attack them. So this is why Carlos is asking Latrice her opinion on the issue with Stormi. And let's hear what Latrice from Belle Collective has to say.
Speaking of Stormi, it's when Stormi addressed Melody and her fans, right? So to catch you up, Latrice, in case you haven't seen the clip. I did. Look, okay, you saw the clip, okay. So Stormi addresses Melody in regards to her fans, right? She was saying that one of her fans went to her warehouse and started harassing her, and that Stormi, got frustrated, cussed the lady out. The lady then proceeded to go to the cops to get Stormi arrested for harassment and communications, right? I want to ask you this, Latrice, before we get into your thoughts on it. I would say this, and I'm going to say this because Marie Monroe and Letitia Pearson said this on Belle Collective. Of all the Belle Collective girls, Latrice, you have the strongest fan base. Okay? Your fans, Latrice, what are they called? The goddesses? Listen, I don't know. I'm into social media, but I'm not into social media. You know, I clock in when need be. Okay, so your fans, I'm gonna name your fans. Your fans are called the goddesses because Latrice has an empire called Goddess Links. Okay, it's a hair brand. Your fans, Latrice, according to Marie and Letitia Pearson, they have said that some of your fans attacked them. And they also have said that your fans on social media run amok, right? Now, granted, none of them have called their businesses or whatever, but you have a large fan base on Belle Collective. If one of your fans decided to go to the Letitia Pearson Enterprises and harass her, what would you do, and would you say to your fan base to stop? Okay. So we're in on the show now, season 5, episode 2. And if a fan came to Letitia Pearson's office, I mean, Carlos, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't care. Like, that's just me, because I know the girls have done so much to me. To me, you deserve it. Like, the fans see, the fans know. You know, the fans can react the way that they want to react. Like, I can't sit here and tell a person, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Of course, you know, I'm never a violent person. I don't indulge in violence or anything of that nature. But if one of my fans took upon themselves to go to one of their business, so what? You better know how to fight. Destiny, how do you feel about that?
I strongly disagree, especially being on the receiving end of fans showing up at my business, showing up at my house. Like, it's just not okay. It's never okay. No matter, and I understand you could be heated at a person and have so much, you know, vitriol disdain for them, but like, when these people don't know us, like, they have no real connection to us. We don't know people's mental stability. Like, it's just not a safe thing. And I think it's, if you're not there to shop, patronize, or, you know, indulge in supporting the business, then you shouldn't be there. That's just my very strong stance on it.
And I don't think that it's in my control or anybody's control on what the fans do. So
I agree with that, but you can take a stance. Like, you can say, hey, yo, I'm not with that. I thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you riding out for me, but let's be on the internet. But don't be at people's houses and their businesses. Like, that's just not safe.
So piggyback off of what you said, I understand take a stance, but in the same instance, like, my castmates, they know stuff can be blatant lies, and yet they run with it. So where's that stance when you guys have put out a narrative about me, and the fans are like running with that narrative, and this narrative is affecting me, my money, my husband's money. But you guys will not sit there and be like, well, hey, this is not true. So I have nothing, girl.
Listen, I've been on this. I've had a whole narrative created for me, and it's affected me personally, business-wise as well. But just for me, I still cannot stand for strangers attacking other people. I just can't. That's just that, because I know what it feels like.
I stand for whatever they stand for. Well, this is why this is a very interesting conversation, because on social media, well, and listen, obviously you guys heard that I don't condone anybody approaching this business, and that's where I stand. I think it's gross. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because social media went on fire for the past 2 days about whether or not they think Melody should say something.
Okay, so you heard that. I was so shocked. So when Latrice says, you know, when it comes to people who have been coming down on me, attacking me, because, you know, at the last reunion for Belle Collective, it got really heated between Latrice and Marie, and security had to come between them. And Marie kind of like bumped the security guy that was on her, like she was really trying to get to Latrice. And, you know, nobody liked that. Nobody likes to see anyone get bullied. It's just not cool. And it's uncomfortable to watch, actually. So Latrice was saying if one of my fans shows up at Letitia's business, they better know how to fight. Latrice totally did not care, and my initial response, I was like, oh my gosh, is this segment pre-produced? Did Carlos ask Latrice to adopt that opinion and then let Destiny have the opposing opinion? That was my initial reaction. But the more that I listened to Latrice talk and I looked at her facial expressions and her body language, I said, oh my gosh, no, she is sincere. And as I focused on Latrice's sincerity, I said, you know what? You can get tired. You can literally become exhausted from always taking the high road and always doing what's right. Especially for me, if you grew up in a strict traditional household, it's very religious, it's very people pleasing oriented, and so you could just think like, oh, he's hot, a lustful thought, and you're feeling guilty, kind of like what Carlos was saying, karma is going to haunt you, or just feeling guilty over a thought. So and eventually you grow out of that people pleasing and that oh, let me strive for this perfection that's not humanly possible. You grow out of that and you let yourself be free. And I kind of feel like it's relatable to Latrice saying, after folks attack me, if one of my fans go, oh, well, that's on them, I get where she is totally. And then, she talked about it's really impossible to expect a person to control other people's behavior. And Destiny said that's true, but you could say something. But after Latrice's response, I'm like, wow, what if that's where Melody is as well? After being ganged up on for years, season after season, and people totally ignoring the douchebag's behavior, who that is, after hearing him talk about women and trying to F from the last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. After all of that BS, what if she's at a place where she just does not care because of the people, how they've treated her? So I'm actually really glad that Carlos invited Latrice up, that he posed the question and he let her speak her truth. She said, after being attacked, I just don't care. And I think that is so significant to hear in this conversation. So it gives you encouragement too, that just in life, period, you may take a certain position, a certain heart posture after being exhausted with disrespect or people being mean. And you'll learn actually that you are not alone. Someone sympathizes and someone understands and they can relate. And I think that's Latrice for Melody. Well, what did you all think about what Latrice from Belle Collective had to say in regards to the situation involving Stormi and her saying when it comes to attacks, if one of my fans shows up, I wouldn't care. I thank you all so much for checking out this video. I always appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video, as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Shows Style and Spirit. And I hope that you all are having a terrific Tuesday. I hope that it just gets more and more awesome for you. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.